Hey everybody, this week's R&R show is brought to you by Arcane Wonders. And hello Ruel, how you doing, man?
Oh, good. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing well, although right as soon as we started recording, I just suddenly rolled over
What?
all of my speaker cables that run into my ear, and I can still hear you, I
Oh
think,
my
of
gosh.
course.
I hope you can hear me. Yeah. Nothing like recording live. This is the
Yep, it
best.
always is. I'm guaranteed everything will go perfectly swimmingly. There will be no mistakes whatsoever. That is our personal guarantee
That's right.
to you, the audience. And folks, every week, Ruel and I get together and we do a top 10. This week, we're going to be talking about a whole bunch of really awesome crowdfunding games on Kickstarter and GameFound. That I think many of them are starting this month or in the next month. I think I might have one that starts in January because, of course, near the end of the year,
Yeah.
crowdfunding starts to slow down a little bit. But yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, it's you get the holidays and everything else, and people are just dial things down as most people do. But it'll start kicking back up next year. But that doesn't mean there's like a shortage of games. There's still a ton of games out there that are being released, and we're gonna hopefully give y'all a really nice snapshot of 10 that we really thought or think are
yeah, that are
amazing. So
definitely worth watching.
yeah,
Although there are some rules, but we'll talk about that when we get to it. Because first, the first segment of the Rahdo talks through. We don't always do it, but we'll definitely doing this week is the what's on Rahdo's table. Right.
yeah.
And
What the heck is
what
that on
is
your
it on
table?
my
I think I know
table?
what it is, but
You
we're gonna
might
find out.
be asking right now. Well, let me go on ahead and find the button. There it is. I'll go to my overhead view. And where'd my overhead view go? Is it gone? Oh
It's
my
gone.
goodness. What happened? What is oh, you know what it is? My overhead camera has crashed. Because of course it has.
Oh
Because we
no.
spent too much time
Of
goofing
course
around.
it has.
Let me restart the overhead camera. Let's see, I need to go into properties, of course. And then I need to deactivate it
Uh,
and then reactivate it.
well, for what it's worth, it does look like a really cool game, and we will be showing it in just a second here, folks.
There
There
it
it
is,
is. Wow,
folks.
that was quick.
This is Mobile Markets, which is basically the sequel to Smartphone Inc. From a Russian development group and publisher Cosmodrome Games, although it is being picked up by Arcane Wonders. And Jen and I played this for the first time yesterday, and it is fantastic. I already really was hardcore in love with Smartphone Inc. I've often said it's one of the
Smartphone
best
Inc.
modern day business simulator games to have come out in years. But I think this takes it up a notch because it gets rid of the world map. This assumes a world market for smartphones where, it doesn't matter. I mean, people in India, people in South America, people in Canada, it's all one big market. So we got rid of the map, which honestly I don't mind because that was kind of like the mean spirited part of the game where you could get kind of cutthroat and you could undercut people in their markets. Now, there's just customers everywhere in the world that we're trying to sell to, and we're just racing to sell to the more lucrative ones after we get the lower value ones out of the way. And the map is gone, so you might think, oh no, the game's not as big, but other stuff is replaced. We now have marketing cards that we can spend marketing points on. We've got individual technologies. In the original game, they were just group technologies that once somebody got 5G, everybody could get it. But now people can specialize and get their own private cards. But the whole thing is still driven by the original system of at the beginning of a round, 5 years, you plan, which means you take these little pads that are two-sided, you layer them over, and all the icons you get, and you can get very different combinations of stuff depending on how you combine these two things, indicates all the times you can buy technology, you can invest in marketing, you can actually produce phones, you can sell, and also the sales price. Oh, I've just dropped the price a little bit. I'm trying to undercut my market competition so I can sell to people before Jen gets there, etc., etc. This has always been awesome. It continues to be awesome, and the whole game takes Smartphone Inc. and just simplifies it, streamlines it, makes it play faster, and creates more variability with all the unique cards players can buy. That's a new idea, and also events. Like right now, we're in the third year, and there's a social media PR strike going on, of course. And, I had to reboot the camera, so it's messed up a little bit. But still, you get the idea. So, I really like it a lot. I'll probably be doing a run-through for it this month. But I cannot recommend it high enough. Have you played Smartphone Inc., Ruel?
No, and this it's killing me because I've heard nothing but great things about it. I have friends who are big fans. before the pandemic hit, there was like a small run of where people were playing a lot in my local gaming group, and I always just happened to miss those times. And I just figured, okay, I'll hit it up next time. And then sure enough, pandemic hit, we can't play anymore. And now I think I talked to someone over at Arcane Wonders. They're going to hopefully send me a copy real soon, because I cannot wait to play not only Smartphone Inc., but also this new one, Mobile Markets. I mean, they just seem like the type of games that I'd be into, where it's like really thinky and crunchy, but it doesn't take like 5 hours.
Yeah.
You know, I really appreciate. I love those games, and I think Arcane Wonders did this really well with Furnace, where every single decision is super tense, and it's like, but it's done in like 40 minutes or something like that. I really enjoy games like this.
Well, I think you'll enjoy this too if you get a chance to play it. And I think there's going to be one lucky viewer of the show who's going to enjoy it too, because it is contest time, folks.
Yes.
We are, every week on the R&R show, we would like to give a little bit of love back. And so this week, our sponsor, Arcane Wonders, has committed to sending one copy, not this one, this is mine, I'm keeping it, but one copy of Mobile Markets to one lucky winner. Now, unfortunately, Arcane Wonders only has the rights to publish this in basically the United States and Canada. So we're actually doing 2 giveaways. One giveaway for Canada and America, they viewers, they can get Mobile Markets. Everybody else in the world, don't feel bad. You can win Cascadia. Oh yeah. And again, not this one, because this is mine, and you can pry it from my golden hands. This is an awesome, awesome tile drafting game, all about building awesome wildernesses, dual tool tile drafting. Everything about it is great. And so, Ruel,
Cascadia is fantastic.
How do they win?
They are going to win by, folks, you have to pay attention during the episode. We're going to say a secret word, and at that time, we're not going to say what. We're not going to let you know that we've said the secret word. You're going to have to figure it out, and you're going to type in. There is the email right there, contest@rahdo.com. You're going to type in the secret word game as a subject. So the secret word is super fight. At some point during the show, either Rahdo or myself will say super fight, and you will have to send an email to contest@rahdo.com with the game that we're talking about when we say, one of us says super fight, okay? So we did it last week. It was a big success. And, and also in your email, please let us know what country you're in so we know which game to send to you.
Yes.
So again, that's Mobile Markets for the US or Canada, and then Cascadia. Cascadia is so good. It's easily one of my favorite games of this year. Michelle and I just played it again the other night. So good luck, everybody.
If you made me choose, if I had to this or that, Mobile Markets and Cascadia, I think Cascadia is fantastic. I love it to bits, but I think I'd take Mobile Market over Cascadia. And I mean, that's not to cast shade. They're both wonderful games. Nobody is a loser, except of course for the 100 of people who enter and won't win. But the 2 people who win, they will both be big winners. Don't feel bad. So remember, listen for one of us at some point to say super fight during the top 10 while we're counting down. And when you hear that, make a note of what game we were talking about at that moment, because you send the name of that game in the subject to contest@rahdo.com. And as Ruel pointed out, please put your country of origin so we know what game you're entering for in the actual body text of the email as well. Right. Oh, actually, hold on a second. You might be wondering, hey, what happened to last week's drawing for the $50 gift certificate, huh? Well, folks, we already did that drawing yesterday on the live Twitch stream version of the R&R show, and the certificate was won by a nice fella named Marcus. Congratulations, Marcus. And if you're wondering what that's all about, well, you might want to check out the new sister show to the R&R show, which is called the R&R Bonus Show. You can hit that eye up in the top right corner of the screen to go learn more about it. And otherwise, let's get back to it.
All right. Wow, we've taken care of business. Good luck, everybody. Remember, keep your ears and eyes open for that word. Well, not eyes, but your ears. So we will be saying it, and you'll be sending it in. And let's jump right into the topic for today: top 10 crowdfunding games. These are games that are going to be launched real soon here on Kickstarter and/or GameFound, I believe. And I'm going to kick things off, unless we have any other bookkeeping things we need to take care of.
No, I don't think so. No, wait. Yes, we do. We need to talk about all the games that are going to be coming to the Rahdo Runs Through channel that are crowdfunded previews. We don't put them on the list. The list we're about to do is new exciting stuff that's coming in the future, but these ones we're about to talk about, we've already vetted them. We're already very excited about them. In some cases, I'm covering them. In some cases, Shay is. In one case, Ruel is covering one of these as well. So, want to give a big shout out to those because these are all definitely ones that these would be our top 10 because we're the most excited about them because we've done the most research. In some cases, we've played them. So let's just jump over and talk about them for a little bit first. On Board Game Geek, what have we got here? All right, well, actually, just this morning, 3 games went live on Kickstarter, all 3 of which were covered by the channel. One of them is Trinity of Reign. And, oh, where is it? Okay, here we go. Which Ryan did an excellent rules run through for. Really entertaining as always. I mean, it reminds me of why I have Ryan on the channel. He is the best at rules run throughs in the industry as far as I'm concerned. And this is a big 4Xe style dudes on a map, claiming lots of territory style games. And the thing that actually jumped out to me when I watched Ryan's runs, I mean, the rules seemed solid. It seemed very well considered, really deep, crunchy game. But what I loved most was the miniatures that come with this to represent your little soldiers, but more importantly, the cities that we built, because they're like these cool little multi-piece cities. I want to have this game just for those little city miniatures. And it's on Kickstarter right now. You can go check it out. Trust me, Raul, I think you will fall in love with them too. They are just, what do you used to say? Adorbs? They are totally adorbs.
Adorbs. Yeah. Totes adorbs.
And that is the first and last time you will ever hear me say that. All right.
Exactly. That's it.
So that's one of them. Another one that just went live this morning, I think you have more to say about. It's, what's it called? War,
Yes.
right?
Yeah, World Auto Racing, with the initials WAR for War. This is a collectible card game. It's basically Fast and the Furious,
Right.
folks, and it's got this really cool anime style art. And if you're a fan of collectible card games, this is your jam right here. I got to play a very early first edition, which has some cards that are not going to be printed after the Kickstarter. So if you want those like rare cards, they got this really cool like foil embossed look to it, really neat looking. The game it's a quick playing card game, a lot of tactical back and forth play. I really enjoyed it during the run through. I think it's already been funded. It was like it's a fantastic little card game. Highly recommend for me, and that is World Auto.
Yeah, that
Racing.
is interesting. After you did the live preview, you and I were talking about it, and I was like, "Oh, it looks really cool, but is this really going to succeed?" I mean, I haven't really seen a lot of racing games do well, and you said, "No, trust me, it will succeed." And I wouldn't be surprised. At the rate it was going when I made the video live this morning, I think it had already in its first few hours hit like 60,000. It seems like it was on its way to over 100.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, there is an audience for this. I mean, and if you love Dominic Toretto and you want to play a CCG where you get to say it's all about family every time you play a card game, you want to check out War or World Auto Racing. Okay, the other one that went live this morning, let's see. Actually, the weird thing is it's not on Board Game Geek yet. He's waiting for it to be approved. So I will go to YouTube, and I need Rahdo and Nano. It is actually interesting. It's a series of 3 games. It's the Nano series of games. And the question it asks is, how would you design a game as a designer if you had 9 cards, 9 dice, and 9 cubes? And that's it. Make a game. And so this is actually the first of 3 Nano games that they are planning on releasing. Designed by Albin Viard, who is known for Clinic and Tramways and Town Center and a bunch of other games. And he's teaming up with Todd Sanders, who is a really well respected indie designer in his own right. And the two of them are basically making really deep, interesting Euro games that are the microiest of micro games. The first 3 that are coming out are Empire, which is an age of industrialization engine building game. Railways, which is a kind of a simplified, streamlined version of his former networking card drafting game, or not card drafting, deck building game, Tramways. And the other one is City Planner, which is a light little filler roll dice, re-roll Yahtzee style, get lots of points while building a Sim City kind of thing by activating all kinds of buildings. All 3 of them are totally unique, and of course, because they are just 9 cards, 9 cubes, and 9 dice, they are also fairly low priced. And if you get all 3, you can get them at a discount, and I hope this succeeds, because it was a very cool. I enjoyed them, but I want to see what's coming next, because he has plans to ultimately do 9 games that have 9 cards, 9 dice, and 9 cubes, and this is the first 3. The next set, apparently, if this one succeeds, will include a redo of Clinic, which I don't know if you ever played, is probably his most popular game, a big, heavy hospital simulation that will be simplified and streamlined down for Nano Games. And,
nice.
let's see. And continuing on, I'll just stay here in YouTube. We've got, no, I haven't made it public yet. Oh, right. Okay, we'll go back to Board Game Geek. Because, next week, we have Hegemony going live. Which...
Oh, nice. Looking forward to this.
We've talked about this before on the channel, I believe, right?
Right.
Yep.
Yes.
So here's the deal. I said in my final thoughts, because I filmed them last week, and so you'll be seeing it next week. This is the game, having played it now with my wife. People have asked me for years, Rahdo, if you were to design a board game, what would it be? It would be Hegemony. Because this is an amazing economic simulation set in the modern world in an unnamed country where one player is the working class, one is the capitalist class, one is the middle class, and one is the governmental class. And it's an asymmetric game. Each player has radically different goals they're trying to achieve, but we're all playing in the same economy. So the middle class and the capitalist class, they start businesses that the working class fills, but if they don't treat their workers right, the working class player can call for strikes or demonstrations at Washington to get the laws of the land changed. This is a game where people can lobby to change the national minimum wage, the national laws about allowing migrant workers in or out. There's immigration. Almost everything you can think of that goes into a modern real world connected to the rest of the world economy is here, and it works brilliantly. I think this is going to blow up big, and you'll be able to see my run through when it goes live. And actually, just yesterday, I put the prototype in the mail to go out to Heavy Cardboard. So Ed and Edward and his crew are going to be playing it, and they're going to show a big, awesome 4-player version with all the bells and whistles. So it's fantastic. Absolutely amazing. I talked more about it in my roundup just the other day too. Hegemony, lead your class to victory. Then there is also Hamlet, which just showed up in the mail just the other day. And right off the bat, Ruel, look at this cover art. Oh my gosh, it's. You want to say it?
I was trying not to say it, but it is totes adorbs, folks. I mean, it's got the whole woodland thing that I really enjoy, this style of art. It's gorgeous, and I can't wait to check this one out.
Well, yeah. So I have not played it yet. I've got that prototype in the other room. I'm going to be trying to play it with my wife Jen this week. As I understand it, well, first of all, I should say I'm excited because it's from designer Dave Cheerkop, who did Pursuit of Happiness as one of my favorite worker placement games of all time. He also did And Then We Held Hands. So he does a great job of melding mechanisms and theme together. And this is a pretty typical, hey, build a small little Hamlet, but I think the main focus of this game, from what I've seen so far, reading the rules or skimming them, is it focuses a lot on logistics. I don't know if you remember there was an old PC series of games called Settlers, just Settlers, and it was all about trying to build roads connecting all the buildings of your little hamlet and watching little people carry goods from one building to another so they would make better goods and be prosperous. I don't know if you ever saw it.
I don't remember.
It's like I played a lot of it back in the day. Jen loved it too. This is like the board game version of that. Why can't I zoom in so we can get because as you are doing the tile laying, and the tiles are really funky. They are very, very strange shaped. So I imagine it's going to be tricky trying to get them all to fit together. But your main focus is on roads, making sure because if you want to get the chopped lumber over to the lumber mill to make planks so that you can help build the church and all that. If you can follow the roads, easy. If not, you have to start paying extra resources to basically take them through the forest or over the mountains and stuff like that. So a lot of logistics, players building to the same area, and as the Hamlet gets bigger and bigger and more special powers, it looks very, very cool. It looks like it has a great table presence, really. And again, Dave Cheerkop is a great designer. So you can watch for that coming soon.
I love the shape of those tiles. Yeah, that looks fun.
You don't see tiles like this in other games. You don't see a Hamlet develop in this way. So I'm really keen on trying it out. I'm sure it has a very unique feel. Then we've got Resurgence from. Now here's the reason this is a big deal is because, again, it's designer Stan Kardonsky, who is, he is hot, hot, hot these days. Are there any pictures? No, there is not. I've got a prototype. I haven't even opened it yet, and I got to because I believe it's going live in a couple of weeks. But this is Stan. After having been really successful publishing games with other publishers, let me give you a sense of Stan's, what do you call it? A list of things.
Pedigree.
Pedigree, yes. Dice Hospital, I think that was his first big game.
Oh, nice.
But Rurik, Dawn of Kiev, a lot of people love that. Lock Up Role Player's Tale. Olmos Impresario is phenomenal. Shadow Kings of Valeria is great. Oh, and Endless Winters, which was on Kickstarter last year, was a monster hit. And so he's had all these big successes working with other publishers, so he's decided, you know what? I'm going to publish this one myself. So this is the one he really loves. This is his baby. And it is a cooperative game set in a post-apocalypse Soviet Russia. Where, it's not like a depressing one. It's like, cool, the bombs mean mutants come out, and we got to fight off the mutants and save the last outpost of humanity in Moscow. And I haven't played it yet, but again, he has been on fire for the last few years, just getting better and better and better. And so this is to be the first from Half a Kingdom Games, and I can't wait to try it. So you'll be seeing that on the channel pretty soon too. Then, oh man, there's a lot of stuff coming, folks. Robotopia. This one is from, is it from Alley? No, it's from Bluebeard Games. Robotopia is a fantastic looking little worker placement game. Let's see, are there pictures here? No, there's not. So you'll just have to, I've got the prototype, haven't played it yet. Again, I've read the rules. But this is a robot factory where the robots are running amok. There's a big super boss robot that keeps all the other robots in play. And, the robots are getting the resources they need to build more robots, because the robots are your workers. The thing that I think is most interesting about this, that really got my attention, is it's a worker placement game where once you use your worker, it's done. It's gone. So you're constantly, you better make those moves count, because you're losing them, and then they're just out there clogging up the board, and you have to make more robots so you can do more actions later. So I really like that idea.
Interesting.
Yeah. And I mean, how can you not? I'm not going to make you say it, but it is actually appropriate to say that it is adorable. All right. Almost done, folks. We're about to get to the top 10. Sorry, just got a couple more. Valeria Dice, right? Where is it? Dice Kingdoms of Valeria. Now, you have definitely, I'm sure you have played Kingdoms of Valeria, right? Card Kings of Valeria?
Yes.
Which is basically, and no pictures. No pictures. I should just go and grab the prototype and spill it out on the table. But it's from Daily Magic Games. This is, Dice Kingdom, or Card Kings of Valeria, was basically a Machikoro style game where players are, rolling the die to activate the various and sundry things. Oh, this drives me nuts. There's no pictures. All right, I'm just going to go look. I'll just do a Google search. Hopefully I get lucky. Video. Dice Kingdoms of Valeria. Google, what do you got for me? It's going to think about it. Oh, I didn't type in Google. I did it in the wrong place. Dice Kingdoms of Valeria. Show me an image. All right. Okay, there's videos. Yep. All right. Plumpy Thimble. Shout out to Plumpy Thimble. Do you know Plumpy?
Love Plumpy Thimble. He does great videos.
Well, apparently he's got he's one step ahead. Okay, and this is clearly a prototype. But all right. Establishing shot, Plumpy. Establishing shots. Okay, so it is a roll and write in the Valeria universe. Long story short, that's what I wanted to mention. I love roll and writes. I have enjoyed every single Valeria game that has come out so far. They all do very, very different things, just set in the same universe. The art is from the Miko, so don't judge a book by its color. This is a prototype.
You like the Miko.
The real game is going to be gobsmackingly gorgeous if you love the Miko's art. And I don't even know what the roll and can't think of the word. The roll and writing of it is, but I suspect it will be very great. So that's why I am stoked for that one. And and then the last one. Okay, let's go back to the Board Game Geek. This one is going to be covered by Shay. Board Game Geek. I can type. Board Game Geek. Pathfinder Arena. And so this is a PvP game where players are facing off against each other, going head to head using famous, I guess, Pathfinder characters and monsters. And we talked about this one, didn't we? This was on your list for Essen. You were interested in it, weren't you?
Yeah. Yeah. What was it? Essen? I know we talked about this
Yeah,
one before.
about it was either Essen or maybe it was the last time we did a Kickstarter thing, and you mentioned you were really interested in it. Well, you're in luck. You're not in luck. You would be in luck if you'd be the one filming it, but Shay will be filming it. And it's an arena battle to the deathmatchy type board game. The interesting thing is the dungeon we're fighting in has shifting sliding tiles, so everything's constantly moving around. Aha! You thought you were gonna get me, but a wall is now between us, and stuff like that. So I expect this is gonna be very good. You'll be seeing Shay covering it later in the month as well. Oh boy! And okay, that was it for my bookkeeping. Did you have any bookkeeping?
One little bit of bookkeeping. I just want to shout out the Dragon's Tomb. They do really fun board game parody videos, and they put up a Kickstarter, I think last week or the week before, for their new season, their new upcoming season of videos. So it's actually it's funny how they did this. It is I think Jeffrey Kornborg, he did this Kickstarter for rock paper scissors. Right? You can get a deluxe version, you can get a print and play version. I mean, it's silly, it's fun, and it goes along with what he's doing over there on the Dragon's Tomb. Yeah, rock paper scissors deluxe version.
So I mean, is this real or is this a joke? Is he actually?
It's jokey. So it's like, it's basically funding the next
season
of his show, his videos.
But he's made a box.
Yeah, so I mean, look at that. Yeah, isn't
can
that
people
great?
actually back and get this as a way to support his show?
I don't know if you can actually get the box.
Oh, I know him. He's the one who does the Courage Deal With It. He does the thing with Rodney Smith. I've seen that.
Yes, yeah. So I don't know if you could actually get the box. I mean, it does say that you're going to get when you pledge your money, you're going to get these things. You get a T-shirt, you get the game. I don't know if you're going to actually get like fancy scissors, but only one way to find out. Go to that Kickstarter page, folks, and check him out.
I don't know how we missed this in our last episode. I guess he just didn't have a pre-launch page up. But that is, I'll say it, that is adorbs. Wait a minute, hold on a second. Artwork by Beth Sobel. Solo mode by Dave Turchi. So Dave is going to finally crack the solo rock paper scissors conundrum that has confounded game scholars for centuries. All right, well, that is very interesting, and actually I should say, okay, calming down. Hold on, folks. We forgot one more. Titania Ascending. How could I forget this one? Especially because it's so cool. This is a new flip and write that kind of on the surface has kind of a cartographer's vibe, because we are drafting card tile combos to lay out Tetris type shapes on a grid. Very cartographers. But there's two things that make this very unique. One is there are two halves. There's the first half of the game where we're getting all the stuff on the paper, which represents us marshaling the forces of Titania, the queen of the fairies, who are going to invade the earthly realm and take it back from those terrible humans. Anyway, so the first half, you're doing cartographers type stuff, building up, trying to get the right things next to the right things and all of that, and drafting the right cards to do it. Then the second half of the game is when the invasion begins, and you then have to deal with the human opponents ripping holes in all of the stuff that you've created in the first half of the game, and trying to get the right units to the right places to be able to storm the citadels and win the game. So that's already cool in and of itself, that you spend half building up and then the other half managing the destruction of what you built. That's neat. But what's even cooler is this is a cooperative game. And cooperative roll and writes are rarer than hen's teeth, and I want to see more of them, which is one of the reasons I wanted to cover it. And this was another game that actually just went live on Kickstarter today, the day we're recording on Tuesday the 2nd. Right. All right, we've got the actual top 10 to do now. We got all that stuff out of the way. And it is interesting. I mean, this is, I think, is this the third time we've done this? Because we're basically doing it every month. Right? And this month was hard for me because we tried to schedule it for the final week of the previous month. Because of our timing, we got kind of messed up. We're doing it on the first week of November. And unfortunately, one of my games has already launched. And that's breaking the rules, because normally what we do with this show is we go to the list. Kickstarter has a list of about 500 games that are in pre-launch status. And I don't know how long this takes you, Ruel, but it takes me probably 3 hours when I have to do this, and I go through all 500
Yeah.
of these games, looking for the ones that really speak to me the most so that we can let you folks know about them. And down in the show notes of this show, there will be direct links. You can go to the pre-launch page and tick the let me know when this game launches. And like I said, it works fine because normally we do it the week before. This week we've done the week of. At least one of my games I know. I did the list last night. I was up till like 2 in the morning, and then I wake up this morning and, oh, that just went
Oh my
live.
gosh.
So we're breaking our rules. Did everything go okay for you, though?
Yeah, so I didn't spend 3 hours. I probably spent about 2 hours last night. Same thing, just going through all the games. And I had my list. So the way it works, folks, we both have a list, and then we submit them to a third party who doesn't tell each other what we have on the list, and then they compile the best, like the top 5 of each of us, and then we put together a top 10 for y'all. Yeah, this morning, actually, right before we got together for the pre-show, we were talking. One of mine went live as well. So I am.
Oh, so we're in the same situation. Okay.
Yes. And actually, why don't we jump right into it? My number 10. Actually, let me send this to you.
You need to send it to me so I can put it on the browser. But what's the name of it?
There it is. Monsterpocalypse.
Monsterpocalypse, L-Y-P-S-E. I might have spelled that wrong because I just tried to put it on the screen. But in the meantime, let's go on ahead.
Yep.
But you can fix that and fix it for me if you like, because I don't know how to spell that. That's a crazy word.
Yeah. If you check in the chat, the Skype chat that we're on right now, I dropped the link.
There you go. There it is. Okay, cool. Let me go on ahead and bring that up for the folks. Our number 10.
There it is.
Monsterpocalypse.
And
this is your one, right? This is actually live.
This is the one that just went live, yeah. And I've actually had my eye on this for a little while, and I didn't know it was going to launch today, obviously, or else I wouldn't have done it. But there's the video. You can see the video right now. This is based on an older game, older miniatures game, Monsterpocalypse. Now, I'm not really a miniatures game player, Rahdo. I don't know if you are, but I'm not really. This is designed by Matt Wilson. And, even if you're not in miniatures games, you may have heard something that he had done before called War Machine. So this is a game that he's involved with. This is the board game version of it. To me, I look at it. I mean, you can see it on board here. On screen here. To me, this is like King of Tokyo come to life.
Yeah.
Right? King of Tokyo in a miniatures form. You got big monsters. You're destroying the city and each other. You're eventually trying. It's a skirmish game. You're trying to eventually, destroy your opponent by using a ton of dice. And what's really neat though that this version does is, it has the standard 2-player core box, right? 1v1, but there's an expansion you can get, multiplayer, that allows co-op and competitive play for up to 4 players. So the co-op, you're going to have different missions to do, and you and your fellow big monsters, Gaijin or whatever they're called, you're going to be destroying the city together in order to complete things. Now, I'm not too familiar with the lore or the story behind the original Monsterpocalypse, but they already have like all the different factions that like the Guard, the Planet Eaters, the pterosaurs, and the Lords of Cthulhu, right? So these are represented in the this version as well, of the board game version. And so what this does, and this is why I'm interested in it, because, well, number one, big monsters. I'm always in on big monsters. But number two, it takes a miniatures game that I'm not really too familiar with, but it puts it in a more accessible form. Like, I'm always down with rolling dice and battling on the board on board and stuff, but I'm not really into like trying to figure out like line of sight and all these other things that miniature games do, right? So this one I feel like it's a good entry point for this style of game, and that's my number 10, Monsterpocalypse.
Are you going to play this with your wife? Or this is a game group game. It looks like, I'm thinking,
game group game. Now, having said that, Michelle and I, we do enjoy King of Tokyo, so I can pitch that, say, hey, this is King of Tokyo, but with like super cool minis and even more dice, and so maybe I won't rule it past. Like I might bring this to a family game night. I know my nephew, he would love this because we're big King of Tokyo fans, and I know he likes these type of miniatures, and he just wants to battle his Uncle Ruel. So yeah, this would be a good one for the family as well.
Well, okay, that is a good one to start. Oh, and the fact that it's completely breaking the entire rule set of our entire show.
Yeah,
that's okay.
It's live.
We'll let it slide.
Yeah.
But
it went live this morning.
Yep.
Yeah, it's almost raised like 200.
I know. Yeah. Well, I mean, obviously, it looks fantastic. But let's move on to my number 9. Let me see if I can get that set up. Yes, I think so. My number 9, Ruel, is I'm afraid I don't want to mess up the pronunciation. It is Sammu-ramat.
Oh,
Uh,
yeah.
and actually, it's two games, Sammu-ramat and Derokar. I'll be honest, I don't know much about Derokar. This is a 2-in-1. I'm coming for the Sammu-ramat, and this is actually a game that's going to be on GameFound instead of Kickstarter. It's coming soon, and the Sammu-ramat is the one that really pulled me in because, well, geez, just because of everything about it. This is a cooperative game set in the Assyrian Empire, 9th century BCE, and the game really goes deep into the real history about how this Assyrian Empire was ruled by a woman. Which is obviously not what we tend to think about in the ancient world, but very ahead of its time. And interestingly, not only is our leader in this game a woman, this game was designed and the art is done by women as well. And it's from a board game publisher where the CEO is a woman. So I love everything about this game from a representation point of view. That's just absolutely phenomenal. The industry needs more. Relatively needs less of me. We've had enough games from white dudes for years now, so it is great to see something more. But that aside, I'm also excited because of the game. This is a cooperative game, and we don't play Sammu-ramat. We play one of her advisors, and we all have special powers because this is a pandemic-style firefighting game. We are cooperatively running around the Assyrian Empire trying to, put down revolts and meet the needs of the people and all of that while following the edicts from our leader, because we've got a lot of different scenarios that will change the game up from game to game. And we have special powers and all of that. And I'm just very, very excited about this game. This is right up my alley. This is the kind of thing I absolutely love. And now, since we're here, I probably should mention the other game. I haven't seen the real page. I assume you can back one or the other. Derokar, 5 Presidents Week, sounds interesting too because it's a history-based game about Argentina, which I have to admit, I didn't even look at it very much. There wasn't quite as much information, but it does have to do with, I'm assuming, a real world, designed by a native Argentinian. Great. The world does not need more French and German designers, basically talking about all the other countries of the world. How about we let the people of these places actually make a game about their world too? I love everything about all of that. And like I said, I hadn't looked into this one too much because really at the end of the day, my wife and gaming partner is not that much into politics style games, which is obviously what this is all about.
Yeah.
But it looks pretty cool, a very unique theme, but for me, it is all about my number 9, really, is Sammu-ramat. Phew, okay.
Wow, that looks amazing. I remember seeing this, when I was doing the research for it, and I didn't dive deep enough into this. I think that looks awesome. I had no idea it was done all, the art by women and so forth, and the design. Really cool. I love seeing that as well, Rahdo. I love seeing more in the hobby, not only as just playing, but designing, and in all aspects of the hobby. I think it's fantastic. Okay, so that was your number 9. Let's move on to my number 8, which will be coming up on screen here soon, correct?
Yep, if I've done it right. Did I get it right?
Okay. We're going to find out right now. Yes. So apparently I'm all about monsters this week.
Yes,
so my number 8.
Halloween is over, man. It's time to move on.
I know. You know what? It's probably a subconscious thing where I felt so bad about including Whirling Witchcraft in my top 10 horror games that I'm now trying to make up for it. So my number 8 is also on GameFound. It's Gatefall Monsters. It's a game that's coming up soon here on the platform. It's this time though. It's about the classic monsters. You've got Wolfman, Dracula, the Mummy, etc. And this is based on the previous game Gatefall. This is an expansion or a standalone expansion that expands the world. You're going to include these classic monsters, and it's a battle game. You're going to fight each other as these monsters. You're going to get a team together, and it uses deck building as its main mechanism. So everyone starts with the same deck of cards, and you're slowly but surely you're going to play them either to move or fight, which is interesting because it reminds me of a game I played years ago called Carthage, which did a similar thing where you were like in a gladiator arena, and everyone was, deck building using cards to, fight each other and move around the arena. But this one adds, the monsters, and actually adds a victory coin. Is a little different than Carthage, where this one is, instead of last person standing, it's a race to 10 victory points. So you can kill off other characters, but they'll just respawn the next turn, but you will get victory points based on that. This one is from designer Jack Dyer, who you may know from the Super Fight card game. He designed that as well. So he's taking those mechanisms and put them into Gatefall, and Gatefall Monsters is the one that is going to be on GameFound real soon.
Okay. Yeah. Not the kind of thing I'm looking for. You're 0 for 2 as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, I know this is not your jam. This one, this one is something that me and my friends, we will definitely enjoy. Bashing each other. As the Dracula, the mummies, Invisible Man, all those. I think it's just a fun little thing. It's like it reminded me of Horrified, right? You got the Universal monsters, but now instead of doing like the pickup and delivery thing, now you're just in your face, fighting each other because. Of course, it makes sense, right? They're monsters. They're gonna fight.
Right. Yeah. I guess you could actually kind of look at this is a warm up. We're gonna play Horrified tonight. Where we're gonna fight the monsters, but first we're gonna play as the monsters and beat the crap out of each other. Or you could have a quick game of Tokyo, or actually, for the other one, you could have King of Tokyo, and then you could play your number 10. So yeah, you are clearly setting up for big, epic, monster-filled game nights, which you should have been doing last month, but that's okay. We'll let slide.
Exactly.
Around the Rel Gaviola house, it's every holiday season, it's all about monsters bludgeoning each other, apparently.
Yeah, you can either say I'm late for last month, or hey, I'm really early for next year. That's how I'm looking.
Okay, cool.
Okay, so that's my number 8. That is Gatefall Monsters.
Well, we are definitely staying in very, very separate lanes because my number 7, sorry, is Ostia, which is another, big Euro-y style game set in the era of antiquities where we are building up the ancient Roman outpost of Ostia, doing all the kinds of stuff you expect to do, harvesting goods, engaging in trade with faraway people and all of that. But what makes me really attracted to the game is I love Moncalas. Ever since I played Trajan from Stefan Feld the first time many, many years ago, and just the idea, the Moncala has been around for thousands and thousands of years So, whenever a Euro designer can take those ideas and turn them into a really cool modern Euro with lots of stuff to juggle, and, because for folks who don't know, a Moncala means it's this circular thing, although originally they were grids. You pick stuff up out of one, you move them to all the other cups. The final cup you move to is what you activate, so that's what the action you do. But in this game, the cup you pull out of, you activate that by harvesting stuff that one does, and then you move and you activate the ultimate thing. So every turn you get this interesting 1-2 of what am I going to harvest where I go, from where I start, and what am I going to do where I end up. And that sounds excellent. And it looks like it's a shared Moncala. So what you're doing to it sets me up to maybe do stuff on my turn. And I thought I was going to move here, but now I can't. I'm going to have to move one extra space. Do I want to do that action? So it looks like it has a lot of really cool stuff. It's coming soon on Kickstarter. It's my number 7, Ostia.
Yeah, I saw this one. I immediately thought, Rahdo's got this.
Of course,
this
yes.
has got to be.
So you saw it too? You were looking at it?
Good. I saw it, yes, and it looks gorgeous. And you know what? The reason why I didn't pick it, I still need to be sold on the Moncala mechanism.
What?
I don't know what. Yeah, like I like it. I don't love it. I don't know what it is about it. I don't think my brain works that way or something. Right. No, but... I just.
Okay.
What is it about Moncalas that I don't get? I don't.
Do you find them frustrating, or is it just? The thing about a Moncala is, well, certainly a game like Ostia, where it's a shared one, they are incredibly tactical. You cannot plan 5 turns in advance. You have to. Well, what did I get? What did my opponents do when it started my turn? And so I'm sure for some people, lack of strategy, more tactics is a problem. But I guess also there's just kind of the. Having to get your head around, which of these I'm going to activate because I'm going to land on this. But more importantly, as I do this, I'm setting up these other cups that I could try to use later. So there's a lot going on. Trajan is amazing. I absolutely love it. So I assume you've tried Trajan?
It's on my shelf of shame.
Because you're afraid of Moncalas. I think we need to help Ruel face his fears, folks. If you ever see Ruel at a convention, offer to play Trajan with him.
Yes,
or my number 7,
play
Ostia.
Trajan, y'all, folks. Nice. Okay, let's move on to my number 6. You should have the link coming up real soon
Okay,
there.
hold on a second.
My number
I
6.
probably should have grabbed that ahead of time while we were talking. That would have been the sign of a professional, which I am certainly not. But we will go on ahead and get it up. What is... Right, we're talking about your number 6 now, correct? Ah, yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So the original game, this is a standalone. I believe this is a standalone expansion. This is number 6, Call to Adventure: Epic Origins. Right. And I actually saw Call to Adventure played on the Rahdo Run Through channel by our friend Shay Parker.
The very first game on the Rahdo Run Through channel. There was a run through, not from me.
Yep.
Shay did it, and I'll be honest, I had not really cared about Call to Adventure. I thought, it's just a really simple little rune casting game. Shay sold me on it, and I've been curious to try Call to Adventure ever since.
Same here. He did the same thing. He sold it to me, sold me on it, and I like that the whole like you're rolling runes, not dice. So it's like they're basically like two-sided dice, right? And like very, it's just really thematic. And it's basically character creation, right? You got this fantasy game where you're creating characters, like sort of like. Well, it reminded me a little bit of Role Player, where you're creating fantasy characters, but that's obviously dice and stuff. This, you're actually rolling runes, and you're going to add, like, I think it's heritage cards in this version. You'll be telling your origin story, and what Brotherwise Games does is they sell it almost like an RPG style experience, like a session 0, right? As you're creating your characters, setting up parameters for the game. This is the Origins, this is Epic Origins. So this takes place, it's almost like a prequel. So before Call to Adventure, this is like sort of like leading into that. So you're going to be doing, taking on challenges and trying to acquire traits, overcoming adversaries and so forth. And you're going to acquire experience points and so forth. So almost like it really is sort of like that session 0 of like a RPG campaign. I'm looking forward to it because Shay sold both of us on this game, and I want to see what this Epic Origins does as well. So that's my number 6, Call to Adventure: Epic Origins from Brotherwise Games.
Cool. And folks, if you'd like to know more about the game in total, just do a Google search for Rahdo Call to Adventure, and you can watch Shay's excellent run through to get an idea of what that game is really all about. But folks, we're not done. We are only halfway through this list. So let's move on to my number 5, which is Honeybuzz Fall Flavors. And I'll be honest, this came out of nowhere. I had no idea we were going to be getting more Honeybuzz. It's just when I sat down and started studying the 500 games in the queue that I just saw this, like, oh my gosh, and coming next week on November 9th. Now, for folks who don't know, Honeybuzz is one of the many games. Over the last couple of years, we've had an explosion of bee-themed games. Really for the last half a decade, really. And I think that's because, about a decade ago, society at large started becoming aware of the problems that bees are facing, colony collapse and all that. And that, at the exact same time, put an idea in a lot of board gamers' heads of, we should make honey games. We should make bee games. And so over the last few years, they've just been kind of drip feeding out. And of all of them, I would have to say Honeybuzz is by far the biggest, richest, heaviest Euro crunchy style game, because it is a game where players control a hive of bees that are going out, harvesting the pollen, bringing them back, growing honey. But it's got so much going on. It's a tile laying game. It's got 2 completely different modes. One with like kind of a deduction element to it. If you want to know more about Honeybuzz, you can go watch the run through I did for it when it was on Kickstarter. And bear in mind, oh my gosh, the final version of Honeybuzz is so gorgeous. One of the most beautifully produced games that have come out in years. I think it actually got several Best Produced Games of the Year awards. So it's beautiful, it's heavy, and as of next week, going on Kickstarter, there's going to be a Fall Flavors. And honestly, I didn't even look at what was coming. Open up the honey stand and bring the pumpkins. It's time for the first expansion. I don't even know what that means. That's right, because another thing you're doing is, everything you're doing is to make the honey to actually sell to the animals of the forest. And so it's a really cheap it looks very simple and family friendly, but it's crunchy as all get out. Jen and I were super impressed by it, and I'm very excited now that it is coming. My number 5, Honeybuzz Fall Flavors.
Yeah, I completely missed this.
You didn't see it?
I don't know where this just didn't. I didn't even see it. I don't know how I missed this, but yeah, it's obviously, if you're a fan of Honeybuzz, you got to get this expansion. So that is your number 5?
That's number 5. So we're moving
So
now
my
on
number 4.
to
Okay.
your number 4, sir. And I see you have sent me the
Alright.
link, so I am ready to go. I
Yep.
have put the link in the browser. So what's your number 4,
Alright.
baby?
My number 4, and let's see if the title is gonna show up here.
Yep.
I want to make sure. Yes, Floating Floors.
Mm-hmm.
This one immediately caught my eye because, I mean, look at this. It's such a funny like combination. To me, it was funny. It's an abstract game and a dexterity game in one, which I can't. That's just bizarre to me. But tactical game for 2 to 4 players from designer Takashi Sawada. You're ninjas, and what you're trying to do is cross these floating floor boards and get to your rival get the boss, right? So you got that abstract thing going on where you're trying to capture the other players like king or queen or whatever. But as you're moving them, you have to make sure you don't knock any of those pieces off these tiles, which they're not actually floating, but they're on top of like other meeples or like other wood bits. So if you knock them down, then you trigger. I think you trigger like some kind of abilities or whatever, or you can change where your rivals are at actually on the board itself or the tiles themselves. So unique. I don't think I can think of a game like this. I like dexterity games. I like abstract games, but for 2 of them to be mashed up sort of blew my mind, and I can't wait to check this one out.
I can't believe this. I wanted to actually go show a video of it because there's a bunch of them. But if I do a search for floating floors, all I get is this old house type stuff. All right. All right, so we'll just stick with the the
like,
picture.
Looking at the video, I was like, oh, that's actually a floating
Yeah,
floor.
I went off script. Now we're on to that. Oh man,
what is this, folks?
this is what happens, folks. I gotta stay on target. It is very cool. It's an interesting thing too. It's coming out of, if I recall correctly, an Australian development house, and Stella of Board Game University is not the designer of it, but she's involved in the development of it. And I mean, so I was trying to find her video of it because they've already filmed it. It's so cool, the idea that you've got all these things, you're trying to move your meeples around, but they might tip and tilt unless you buttress these cards by putting cubes underneath them. So it's got this very cool 3D tactical element to it, a tactical game of balance and cunning that I tried to actually show you in action and failed because floating floors means something completely different to YouTube. But still, yeah, a very, very cool choice. This made my short list. This would have been in my top 10, actually. So I'm glad.
Nice. Okay.
I'm glad it made it on your list as well. That is very, very cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I just immediately, just looking at it, immediately thought of, like, we talked about Onitama like last week or the other week, and it's like Onitama but a dexterity version. But yeah, so that's my number 4. Let's move on to your number 3.
Yes, my number 3 is Ceres, which is a big deal for me because it is from Greek publisher Artipia Games. And I don't know if you've noticed, Ro, but Artipia Games has really just been flying under the radar now for a while. Honestly, I was kind of worried that maybe they were one of the board game developer publisher houses that had not survived COVID, because it has taken some publishers out. And so when I saw that a new game from Artipia Games was set for pre-launch, oh man, I won't deny I got a little teary-eyed because I actually know Konstantinos. When Jen and I have visited Greece, I've hung out with them. Jen has actually helped box up games for them, and they're just the best people in the world. And when I saw they were still alive and kicking, I was very, very excited. But all that aside, putting aside my personal affection for Artipia Games as a publisher, it looks like a really great game too. It's a sci-fi worker placement game of space corporation. You mine asteroids, you consult the Mars Council, you enlarge the Ceres colony, and unfortunately, that's all I can tell you. I searched. There are no videos. There's hardly any pictures. Apparently, there was a demo of this you could play at Essen Spiel, which I totally would have sought out if I could. But right now, there's not much info. But you had me at Artipia Games making a Euro worker placement game. Oh, one thing I do remember that was very, very cool. Apparently, they've this is not just a flight of fancy. They have actually consulted astrophysicists to try to get the science correct. And so I'm always happy about that. So I am happy on so many levels, just knowing that Artipia is back, baby, as one of the best. And
Nice.
And they're doing something other than just expansions for Pursuit of Happiness, which is also an amazing worker placement game, by the way. Someday we need to do a top 10 Artipia Games list, actually. They've done so many great things over the years. And maybe Ceres will make the list. But that was
Yeah.
my number 3.
Yeah, you had me at sci-fi worker placement game. I'm all over this. This looks fantastic. Okay, let's move on to my number 2, which I will put on screen here.
Okay.
So this is my number 2. And I want to make sure I pronounce this correctly. Is it Tindaya?
I believe it is, sir. Tindaya from Red Mojo Games.
Tindaya. Yeah, designer Lolo Gonzalez. Oh, wow. The first comparison I want to make to this, it really felt like Spirit Island to me. It's a survival game with, they call it the soul of a Euro game, right? So you're going to settle, progress, and battle invaders. Invaders are coming to your land, you're playing as the natives. And you can play cooperatively, you can play competitively, or you can play a solo game. And there's also apparently a trader variant, which I was like, oh, okay, that's interesting. But what you're doing is you are...
hold on a second. I'm going to do something.
Tribes.
I'm gonna give people a little bit of fun. You keep talking.
Okay.
I'll be right back.
You can show some floating...
No, I'm not. I'm not trying to find more floating floors, but I'm going to give people a little sneak peek because most people probably don't realize Shay has filmed a run through for Tindaya. And it is on hardcore lockdown embargo because this isn't going live, or Tindaya isn't going live until early 2022. So we'll be putting the video up at that point. But what the heck? Behind the scenes, I've got access to it. I could just show you folks a little bit of it right now. Let me see if I can find that link.
You're not breaking any embargoes, are you?
No. It's not really an embargo. I was always saying. Okay. I pushed the wrong button. I'm going off script. Okay, so no one can see me typing in the URL of Shay's Tindaya video. So we can just show a little bit of the gameplay. And then, I'm sorry, I was so rude. If I'd known this was coming, I would have prepped it ahead of time. But there we go. So anyway, please continue talking about Tindaya. Here it is.
Yep. Wow. Look at that.
Now you're just going to sit there and watch it in silence.
I just watch it, yeah. So what you're doing is, a couple of things stood out to me. So the one thing that really stood out to me is like, you know how like in worker placement games, you have to feed, your villagers and so forth and do all that stuff. This does the same thing where you need to feed your workers, but it's really interesting where you're offering to the gods as well. So you don't want to take too little and make the gods unhappy and your villagers starve, but you don't want to take too much because you're going to produce waste and enrage the gods, and obviously bad things will happen. So I like that twist on it. Also, let's see if it's Shay. Yeah, you can see the islands there that you're developing. Some of those are going to merge.
Yes.
Right. And so some of those will merge and I believe even disappear. So that's going to affect your strategies as well. So yeah, this looks really, really good. I mean, it looks outstanding. It's got that Spirit Island vibe where, you are the natives on the island worrying about, predators and conquistadors and so forth, while also trying to, produce goods so you can live. So yeah, I'm assuming this might have been on your list, Rahdo, or near your top 10 for this show.
Well, I mean, I of course have seen the video. I have talked with Shay about it, and Shay has very much convinced me that it is in fact excellent. It is a phenomenal game. So you were definitely right to put it on the list. Honestly, it just didn't even occur to me because I already knew we had covered it, and you just didn't know. And so, so it's no big deal at all. It's totally fine. For me, it was just like, okay, this is something I'll talk about at the end of the December one because, I think it's going live in January, maybe February. I don't remember for sure. So yeah, that's why it just didn't occur to me to put it on. But for you, this was just a spontaneous. You found it. You thought it looked fantastic. And it does,
awesome.
It is, and I can confirm it is a fantastic, excellent choice on your part, Tindaya. Well done, sir.
Cool. Thank you.
All right.
Okay. So let's get to the top of the list now. Your number 1.
Yes, my number 1 is, we talked about this right up front, how some of the games were actually live and I didn't realize it. Yesterday, this game was not live. Yesterday, this was a coming soon game, but it went live this morning, but I still love it anyway. It is, how am I going to pronounce that? Jiangnan, Life of Gentry. And hey, one thing that's nice about it, since it is live, I can actually just play you their video, which
Right.
shows it off to great effect. Actually, I don't know if it does or not. I assume it does. I haven't actually watched this video yet. I was expecting just to talk about over a static image. But this is a, obviously set in ancient Asia. Let's see. Okay, this is all very nice. Let's jump to the gameplay stuff. Because from what I understand, the cool element of it is it's a worker placement game, so you're interested, I know. And you have these master workers, and then they have students, which are like little tiny versions of them. And when you put a master worker on the board to do whatever you're going to do, harvesting resources, convert things, activate special powers, etc., etc. And also it's a bag building game too, because you've got all these tiles that indicate what the masters can do when you place them. So that's all very, very cool. And you've got this sliding bag building tile thing going on. You've got the worker placement stuff. But the important thing is whenever you place your master to activate a section, there's a boat in front of where the master goes, and you put one of your students on the boat. And eventually, once those boats are full, they are going to slide away, and they're going to go to a completely different board. And so
Nice.
your students who are kind of being passively put on these boats will get the opportunity to activate this totally different thing later on. So you've got this 1-2 setup that just sounds fantastic to me. I am very, very keen on giving it a go. I think there was another video down here somewhere. I mean, it's got tons of stuff, all kinds of cool special powers, historically, accurate game settings and all of that. Where was the other video that shows these stuff?
Wow, so many bits. Yeah, you got that deluxe version with the playmat. Oh my gosh.
Okay. Okay, I'm not going to find that other video because,
Yeah, I know there is one. Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah. Well,
right.
people got to see it on the main video. And as you can see, folks, there's a lot of people who covered it. It makes me wonder, why didn't they contact me? I would have covered it. I mean, since every other channel out there is covering it. All right, we'll just go back to the very pretty one. I'm not buying. No. Oh, the video is over, so I can't play the video. It makes me want to back it, which would be a first, a live backing on the show. But no, we're not going to do that today. But I will say the game looks gorgeous. Mo Ideas game design is definitely an under-the-radar publisher, but they put out a lot of good stuff. I know you're a big fan of them, I believe, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm trying to remember off the top of my head what are the games they designed. My games. I'm looking up right now because I forget what games they have built.
Yeah, you were not prepared because we did not actually coordinate our list.
I was not prepared, and it's funny because I remember seeing this game. I thought it looked fantastic, but I didn't see what other games they did. Anyways, game looks fantastic. You can see all the deluxe bits and stuff. I mean, it's just it's gorgeous.
I suspect it will be fantastic.
Good choice for number one, man. Good choice.
Okay, well that's it, folks.
Woo.
Those are the 10 hottest upcoming, although in a couple cases ongoing, because they're actually live right now, games that we found. And I think that's it. We have made it to the end of another episode of R&R. Oh, and I am exhausted, folks. How are you doing?
Same. I'm right there with you. I am exhausted, but it's been a lot of fun, and it's always interesting to see what's out there on Kickstarter and GameFound. So many amazing ideas that are actually being built and put together, and we're going to see it on the tabletop in the near future. That always excites me, and I know excites everyone as well. So looking forward to the games.
Then. I think we are done. Hopefully, folks, you were paying attention, because at some point in all of that jibber jabber we just did, there was a secret word stated, as you may recall. What was the secret word, folks? Yep. It was super fight. So if you heard either Ruel or myself say super fight at some point, you need to remember what game was it said in, and then you need to send that game name as the subject of an email to contest@rahdo.com, so you can enter to win either a copy of Mobile Markets or a copy of Cascadia. And it's on you. Go and find it. Hopefully it won't be too tough to figure it out. But that's it. Otherwise, I think we are out the door. You got any closing words, Ruel?
Yeah. Just a quick reminder for people entering the contest: include your country of origin so we know which game you'll be entered into. So the U.S. Canada is for mobile
Yes.
markets and Cascadia for the rest
Thank
of the
you.
world.
What would I do without you? I would just stumble around and forget half the stuff I need to do. But that's it, folks. We are done. Another R&R.
Looking at floating floors.
Yeah, yes, yeah. I'd be watching Better Homes and Gardens on floating floor videos. Oh, that was ridiculous. But anyway, thanks as always for watching, folks. And oh, wait, folks. Before we go, I would be very remiss not to give a big shout out to Becca Scott of the Good Time Society, because in case you don't know, well, if you love watching me talk to this man about Kickstarters that are coming in the future, well, you might want to watch him talking to Becca Scott, one of the coolest people in board game media. The two of them get together, I believe, every 2 weeks to do good-looking Kickstarters. Is that correct?
That is correct. Yeah, every 2 weeks we look at the projects that are most exciting to us that are currently being funded. And I've had the pleasure of working with Becca for a few years now, and she is absolutely amazing. And yeah, so check us out every 2 weeks over there on the Good Time Society YouTube channel, and there will be a video posted today, or
oh, really?
tomorrow or whatever day.
Okay, well, great.
Yeah.
You know what? There's going to be a link for that down in the show notes of this very episode, folks. So after you're done here, check the link in the show notes. Go get some more of him talking some more Kickstarter and GameFound, just crowdfunding in general goodness. But I think with that, folks, we have reached the end of the show. And so I'm going to say thank you very much for watching. And also, thanks very much to Arcane Wonders for sponsoring the show. Have a nice day, everybody. Talk to you later. So long. Bye-bye.